And now, from Amazon MGM Studios, we have Hedda. This is Nia DaCosta's innovative and elegant reimagining of Henrik Ibsen's play Hedda Gabler. With Tessa Thompson starring in the iconic role of Hedda, and the action transported to a beautiful country house in 1950s England, Nia's Hedda has brought new meaning and nuance to the story while still honoring the original play. Please welcome now to the stage writer, director, and producer Nia DaCosta. And producer and actor Tessa Thompson.
Thank you, guys.
Hello, hello.
Hi, so nice to see you.
All right, before we get chatting, we're going to take a look at a clip.
Possibly inside.
Who wants to dance?
There was one.
Shall I dance? Music, please. Ready? Un, dos, tres.
Who's been fucking my wife? I'm gonna shoot whoever's been sleeping with my wife.
You're going to run out of bullets. What sort of gun is that?
What difference does that make?
You are what you shoot. That's what my father used to say. Looks like a Webley to me. Do you know if I would shoot him too?
I don't.
No, I would. But if you put this down now, all will be forgotten and forgiven. Isn't that right, Brad?
No crime has been committed yet. Yet.
You!
Jesus, these people.
Oh, that is so perfect, that scene. I love it so much. Nia, I just want to say that your production designer, Cara Brower, we were hoping she could be here today, but unfortunately she can't. She told us a story before about part of the search for the house where this is set was about finding someone that would let you drop that chandelier. Can you speak to that a little bit?
100%. So it's, it takes place in the 1950s. The house had to be old and have a gravitas to it. And so she looked at 200 houses, and I looked at 5 in the end because she did a lot of the groundwork. But the questions were, can we shoot a gun off the roof? Can we shoot fireworks and annoy your neighbors? Can we drop a chandelier in your home? And that takes a lot of the houses off the list pretty quickly. But then she found this amazing house and, designed that chandelier. And then we dropped it in their protected, listed, original stone, original glass, 300-year-old orangery.
Yeah, holy shit's right. Whoever said that. What's funny is we couldn't drink water in the house, but we could drop a chandelier. I also couldn't touch any of the walls.
Oh my God, Tessa, I remember you telling me about protecting the house and all the rules and, to preserve it. And you said that there was a tent that you all kind of spent your time in, and you called it Casino Royale. And you spent a lot of time drinking fake martinis, which I'm really curious, what are those like?
No, we should have been doing that. Mostly we ate snacks and we played raucous games of Uno. But there was a lot of fake martinis being drunk, obviously, when we were making the movie, and fake cocktails. The benefit, I would say, of the restrictions of the house, in a way, is that it meant when we were on set together as actors, we all hung out in just one little room because there were very few places we could be. And that's very rare, I think, on a film set, especially people tend to go off into their own little silos. And as a cast, we spent so much time together. So that combined with the amount of rehearsal that we had, because rehearsal was so important to Nia, it really felt like we became this sort of company, this ensemble, which I think you get in theater. And I think every person in this movie started in the theater. So it felt like a return to that kind of spirit of collaboration, which was such a gift.
And so appropriate for this reimagining of Ibsen's play. Nia, why was this the project that really spoke to you, this adaptation at this time for you now? Why did it feel right?
Well, I wrote it in 2018, and I wrote it with Tessa in mind, and it came from a lot of passion and energy. One, because I was writing it on spec. It was just something that I really wanted to do, and an adaptation I really wanted to tackle. And two, because I was writing it during the Sundance I did not get into. So I was like, oh, no, instead of being angry and being on Twitter, I'm just going to be using all that energy and write the first draft of the script. And that's what I did. So thank you. So, it came from just a lot of like real emotion and intensity, really, but such joyful, like it was such a joy to write. It was so much fun. It was great to send Tessa the first draft and to send my team the first draft and do an edit that year, and then I kind of put it in a drawer. And by the time I was doing the Marvel film, I think about like, everyone knows it got pushed a bunch of times, and it was like a year and a half longer than it was initially, and in that process, I was like, oh man, I really want to get back to like my voice and my authorship and in a more direct way. And so Hedda kept popping up, and Sean Bobbitt and I just became really close in that movie. And he also his movies are all very dark, so we both would like be making up really dark things on set about what was happening to the characters as opposed to what we were shooting. And I was like, oh, he's going to be great for Hedda. So it just sort of, came together. So a lot of my Marvel crew actually is on Hedda, and also have come with me onto my next film.
That's amazing. I can't wait for your next film too, by the way.
Thank you.
Tessa, Hedda is such an iconic role. I know you and I have sort of talked about this idea of the female Hamlet, and you quite rightly said, Hamlet is the male Hedda. And I love that. How did you feel taking this role on and knowing that Nia had written this with you in mind?
I mean, that's extraordinary. We spend so much time together, not just when we're talking about a movie or making a movie, but just as friends. And I never knew that you wrote it during the Sundance we didn't get into. That's the first time I've heard you say that. Nia and I met at the Sundance Labs workshopping that film that then would not get into Sundance. And we became fast friends and instant collaborators. And when she first told me that she wanted to adapt Hedda Gabler, honestly, it's canonical, it's incredible, but I didn't understand the imperative, to be honest. And it wasn't until she sent the first draft to me and I understood the changes that she wanted to make to the material, that she really wanted to take it apart and put it back together in her image in a way that made sense for her. The piece suddenly made sense to me, because I had read Hedda Gabler, of course. When I was a teenager, actually, I fell in love with Ibsen when I first read A Doll's House and that character, Nora. And that was the character I always thought, oh, it would be amazing to get to play her. I just never thought I'd have the chance, frankly. And I just couldn't believe that Nia thought of me for it, frankly. And I felt excited and terrified and all of the things I think that are requisite to feel when you take on something that has been around, especially with this, something that has been around, a character that has captivated audiences for so long. But also I knew we wanted to take a big swing and make a new version of Hedda with a lot of reverence for Ibsen, but also just to make something that really was singular and ours. And it's just been such a gift.
I want to talk about some of those kind of innovations you made, Nia. Can you talk about the ways that you knew you wanted to make certain changes? You address race, gender, sexuality in a way that's much sort of modern reimagining of this play. Can you talk about making those choices?
For sure, yeah. Something I'm always interested in adaptation is locating, especially historical adaptation, is like locating people that I know myself in those spaces. So locating Black women in Elizabethan England, for example, would actually not be that difficult, because Queen Elizabeth actually wrote a letter saying there are too many black people in England, can they leave now? You know what I mean? But people don't know that. Like the fact that there'd be enough, yeah. She was like, the Moors, get them away, you know? And so I'm always fascinated by finding out, where are the Moors? No, but I always want to know what the reality and the human lived experience. I'm so
It's our next project together.
Yeah.
More Moors. It's just like a raucous girls comedy during the time.
I love that.
Elizabeth makes us leave, and we just go on a road trip.
Exactly. Road trip out of England. But that would be like a great story, you know? And I think
I wasn't kidding.
Anyone want to finance that? Hello, Kickstarter. But I'm always interested in like the humanity of people in spaces that we are not culturally familiar with. And so with Hedda, I was like, okay, well, Hedda's gonna be black because I'm black, and that's just what I'm interested in right now. And then changes like Eileen or Eilert becoming Eileen, that male character becoming female, was really about me looking at that character and the play and thinking like, in the context of this story about women trying to pursue agency and personhood, it makes so much more sense for this character to become a woman, because then Hedda has another foil, another path she could have taken potentially, in the way that Thea in the play and in the movie is a foil for her. And so I thought, okay, that makes sense. What happens now? You know, if that is a fact of the story, how does that change everything? The first change is, oh, now everyone's gay. Cool. So then, okay, what does that mean now in the period? And then I chose the period, 1950s. Okay, how do those characters live in that period? Because everyone in this movie could have existed in this way, and nothing I'm doing is like sci-fi or fantasy. It's just like, oh no, we're pointing the camera at people of color, at queer women, as opposed to straight white dudes, you know, in this period, which is more common, I think, because it's more. I'm obsessed with you. Slow clap, yes. And so really, that's really what it is making those little changes and then seeing what it does. And in the case of the movie and the adaptation, it made everything I loved about the play more vital, more close to the bone. Yeah.
I love how you talk about Tessa, Nina Hoss, and Imogen Poots being these sort of three. It's almost like three petals of the same flower. They sort of in different parts of each other's lives somehow. Can you talk, Tessa, about bonding with Nina and Imogen and creating this really close dynamic?
Yeah, that was extraordinary. As I said before, we had the great luxury of some rehearsal time, and because our film got stalled by the strikes, we had rehearsal time again. And then Imogen joined us because we had to make some casting choices because, you know, we had to change some parts because people weren't available anymore. And so it also meant that Nina and I rehearsed twice over. I had been such a big fan of both of them, and Nina I just have loved for so long in so many of her films. And she had played Hedda Gabler in Germany for 6 years. So she had this relationship with the material. I can't believe that you could do Hedda Gabler for 6 years and still be sane. But she is very much sane. The funny thing is, recently I realized, because I said how extraordinary that was and how intense, she's like, well, I didn't do Hedda every night. I did Medea some nights, too.
Yeah.
That is Nina Hoss for you. She's just extraordinary. But it was really lovely because we got to really interrogate the material. She had such a relationship with the piece, and it helped set me free because I was really, I think, probably pesky in the beginning with Nia about like these changes we were making and wanting to make sure architecturally that the thing still worked. And I think what we discovered over so many conversations is we were really making our own beast. And in a way, because it's a portrait of this woman, Hedda, but it really is about pathways to agency and personhood, and particularly in a female body and during that time. And so it sort of felt like there's such a way in which we're telling that story together collectively, you know, in a way that felt really intimate. And the truth is, you still, or at least my experience is, it's still very rarefied to get to work with that many women and so closely, and to have it, you know, you're really the subject of the narrative, not the object of it. And that is just, it was just such a great thing to get to have on this piece.
I love how you put that. you know, something about the character of Hedda that I think really impacts everyone that sees this is how she's willing to burn it all down just to be able to be herself. And I think there's something that really stays with you. What's sort of her legacy for both of you, having made this film?
Oh man, it was really exciting to write Hedda and Loveborg and Thea, because they're all just like parts of my psyche in a way. You know, there's like, and a lot of our psyches, to be honest. And I think we all have urges to do things that are not great, but we live in a society, so we don't do them. Or we care about people, so we don't do them. Or we recognize, oh, that's coming from this childlike place, or this, you know, more base place, so we don't do them. But I think it's so powerful and important to really engage with a character like Hedda who does them. And what you say so beautifully, Tessa, which is like, it costs her. And so I just think that's really important. So it's really lovely for me, just as I think about myself and what I want and who I am, the choices I've made and the life I'm living, to play in this slightly terrifying landscape with her.
How about you, Tessa?
Oh, I don't know that I could say it any better. I don't think I could say it any better. I think one of the terrifying things about playing the part, and something that also was remarkable about it, is the ways in which you have to sort of reckon with the things that I think sometimes can get trapped in our shadow self, as Nia said, these instincts that we have that we feel are unsavory. And I think typically we think that a lot of darkness is trapped there in our shadow self. And the truth is, a lot of our brilliance and our light is also trapped there. The things that we repress and we don't show to other people or even to ourselves. And I think just that's something that I hope that we can create spaces to get to reckon and admit those things inside of ourselves in a way that doesn't burn everything down, but just lights everything up. Yeah.
That's so well said. Wow. Both of you. Amazing. I just want to say congratulations on this beautiful piece of work. I really love this film. I urge everyone here to see it. Please give it up for Nia DaCosta and Tessa Thompson.
You so much.
Thank you so much.